I know we all want to get started diving into these sections where we learn about the different pain points and their remedies. However, you still have to be patient because writing clean code takes time. It's written over time, and of course, you want to write your best code right from the beginning. You're starting a new project, and especially after taking this course, you probably want to write the cleanest code possible right from the start. The thing just is, you will notice that you will always find ways of improving your code over time. You will never write the best possible code right at the start. Also, because your project, of course, typically evolves over time. You don't have a project which you just write once and where you then never need to go back to your code. You might need to fix bugs, you might need to add new features. And whilst doing that, you will change your code and you might be able to improve your code. So always question your existing code and try to improve it. Refactor a lot, because refactoring is your key friend when it comes to writing clean code. Because when you write clean code, you typically start on a project, you plan your project, of course, the data entities you want to use and so on. But then when you start writing code, you implement feature by feature, but often you will then find a way of improving the feature you just worked on, and hence you refactor it. Then you continue and you find a way of improving that last feature you worked on. And this is a totally normal flow. Even once you're done with your prototype or your release candidate, you should review your code and then of course also again improve it where possible. So writing clean code is an iterative process and you're never done with it. You will always find ways of improving code, or as you add more features, you might need to change your code because it doesn't work with that new feature otherwise. So you should embrace refactoring. And I know from other courses that refactoring can be frustrating. I had students who really complained about the fact that we did refactor in my courses. The thing just is, refactoring is a totally normal thing to do during development. Because you save time tomorrow if you refactor today. If you continuously improve and question your code, you will have better code tomorrow, which will speed you up tomorrow. In addition, a code base can really only survive and stay maintainable if you continuously question and improve and refactor it. Otherwise, it will not age well. As a pro tip, always try to improve the code whenever you change something in there. Even if you change something else, try to find a place in your code where you can improve a code, maybe improve a function, with all the tools you're going to learn throughout this course. Because this will ensure that your code base is always healthy. Because there is a big danger. I'm of course aware that we're all always under pressure. There never is time to do it right. We just have to do it in some way. And therefore we are inclined to write quick code instead of good and clean code. However, consider this example made up plot, which is not too unrealistic. If we plot the amount of code output, so the code we write, the new features we add to a project, against the time for which our project exists, in weeks or months or even years, if we only write dirty code and we just write code which works but which isn't really clean, we'll be able to pump out a lot of code and features initially, but over time that will decline because our code base becomes a burden and it becomes hard to maintain, and adding new features and fixing bugs becomes harder over time. And this is not some unrealistic made-up scenario. There are lots of projects out there which had to be rewritten from scratch at some point of time because they became unmaintainable, simply because they were not using clean code. If you are using clean code, on the other hand, you are slower initially, but over time you become more productive because adding new features is very easy in the future and you profit and benefit from your clean code. So that's why writing clean code is key and important, and why it should be a priority in any project you are going to start.